Entering Jabba's palace, we are going to be taking Droideka as player 1 and Ghost Yoda as player 2. You can just do a little jump slash up this first slope since it's got a little bit of height. And then we're going to double jump to activate these 3 targets. And then we can just animation cancel them. Each of them take 2 shots to destroy. Now, this spot here is actually where there is some platform differences. There is Xbox exclusive tech that is used here and later in this room. So I'm going to pass it off to my buddy T-Fresh so that he can explain how that works.
As my good buddy Saber said, I'm T-Fresh, and I'm going to show you a few Xbox exclusives in Jabba's free play. First one is right at the beginning of the level. You start off the level with a jump slash, same as the other platforms. The difference is that you can actually clip through this gate right here. To lag on Xbox, you can either open the Xbox One menu, or you can open the Xbox 360 menu. Either one works, but I personally find the 360 menu to be a bit easier and a bit faster. Also just a little bit more consistent. First, I'll explain how the clip works. Then I'll show you the easiest and fastest way I have found to do it. The way it works is by doing a jump slash on Yoda. And then just before he lands, or as he's landing, you're going to lag. So about that. And then once I cancel out of the lag, I'm going to swap to Droideka. And then that would clip. So let me show you again. And then that clips me out. Yoda has a pretty weird hitbox. So him landing off a slash, then lagging and swapping to Droideka allows you to clip through certain walls. The easiest way I've found to do this is doing a jump followed by a slash as quickly as possible. So just like that. So just as quick as possible so he's landing as quickly as possible. And the reason I'm trying to do these back to back to back is just so that there's no timing involved. Alternatively, you can jump and delay the slash and then try and time the lag. The most important thing is getting it first try. One important thing to note is you must do it below this box on the right. I'll show it one more time. You can also use this same tech to skip the bounty hunter panel at the end of this room. You stand on the right side of the left door to clip. The clip works exactly the same, so I'm going to do a small jump slash and then immediately lag and swap to Droideka. So just like this again.
Now moving on past the door, we're just going to roll past any enemies that pop up. And then for this gate, we're just going to do a triple jump over it. And then these stairs are a little bit weird. You would think you would Yoda slash over them, but Yoda slashing will actually target both of these lights that are on the side here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a double jump, another double jump, and then a jump slash to get over that much quicker than if we tried to do slashing and ended up targeting something on either side. And then we'll just use this panel here to get into the next room. And as you can see there, it is faster to slash into this room. You are slashing not in an optimal direction, but it is still faster compared to just taking Droideka in. And you can swap quickly to Droideka to keep moving towards where we're actually going. And then we're going to triple jump up to here and head over to the corner. And there's a couple of interesting things here. This is another one of those clips that we are performing where it's visually hard to see what's going on just because of where we're at. And this is also one of those clips where we have to adjust for it depending on our character roster. So the main character that we're looking for coming into this level is Boba Fett. There's a chance that it's Bush Leia instead of Boba Fett, and in that case, we have to do the clip with R2-D2. If we have Boba, that will save us a few seconds because of the difference in the trick. So first I'm going to show you what it looks like if you don't have Boba Fett, how to do the trick with R2-D2. So we're going to do a double jump slam into this corner, and then we're just going to continue to hold the up left direction, but then we're going to swap our character 3 to the left in order to become R2-D2 as we fall out of bounds and die. And then after we die, we're going to end up on the corner collision, and we're going to be able to get a fly off of that with R2-D2. And by going in an up left direction, maybe a little bit more left than that, we can just head all the way over until we're underneath, or above in this case, the collision that's right here, which skips that section. But if we get lucky and we have Boba Fett, then we can skip taking a death in order to set up the fly. We're still going to do a double jump slam into the corner, but then we're going to swap our character back to Boba Fett, and then we're going to end up underneath the floor collision that's on this ledge. And that will allow us to get a Boba fly and start heading in that direction up left. So you'll notice there, I made it just fine, but I did end up under the collision. And at that point, you can keep jumping with Boba Fett, or if you just swap to another character, then you will instantly warp to the floor here. And then once we get to this point, we're just going to do a jump slash for movement purposes. You don't want to jump slash in this section, otherwise you will target the falling platforms. And then this gate up here has some interesting properties where if you're Droideka and you just roll past these Gamorrean guards, it's not going to open up as fast as you think it would. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to swap to Ghost Yoda and then double jump over these guys. And that gate opening is actually faster than it would be if you just rolled with Droideka. Gate has very strange properties for some reason. As we head into Droidovoid room here, there's a couple of options. If you are not playing on Xbox, then you're going to do a triple jump up above this canister here, and that will let you clip out and just walk underneath the floor. But if you are playing on Xbox, then there's another lag clip that you can do, so I will pass it off to T-Fresh again to explain that.
The final lag clip in Jabba's is to skip these droid panels. All we do is we get Yoda in a sliding motion, just like this. Then we're going to lag and then swap to Droideka. And that's it. This one does save a lot less than the first two, since you can already skip this section. You just get a bit of extra Droideka movement. And with that, I'll pass it on over back to my good buddy Saber.
And then once we're past the door, we're going to up warp. And then we can do a jump slash up these stairs. And then another jump slash up these stairs. And then here, if you want to play it safe, you can use the panel. But then on either side, these lamps can be used to do a one-try trick. So what I mean by one try is that if you come here and you fail doing the clip, then the lamp is gone. They're on both sides, and it's not that difficult to hit. This is a standard slam swap clip. So we're just going to slam and then swap to Droideka and go right through. And then we'll head over here and destroy this. You want to make sure not to destroy these top objects here because that will allow us to clip into this corner. And this clip here is really easy. It's kind of the same as all of the other ones. But then you can optimize what you do immediately after. And the most optimal thing to do is to hit the clip and then as soon as you can, up warp into the area up top to then hit the transition that takes you into the next room. So in that case, I swapped my player back to Ghost Yoda and then started slashing so that I could be going really quickly through the transition. And then we can swap to Droideka and come down here. We're going to do a clip into this corner that's really easy. We're just going to double jump and then swap to Droideka, which pushes us out of bounds. And then we'll swap 2 to the right to get back to a character who can actually walk out of bounds. And then we want to be underneath this grate to jump up into it, into the end room. And then for this end room here, it plays pretty much how you would think compared to like how Story any percent plays it. The most notable thing here is that your forcible character, in this case Darth Vader, he doesn't have the ability to move the Gamorrean guards that you're forcing. So you can still force them to kind of keep them in the same place, but you can't guide them directionally. So it's a little weird on the first Rancor hit to get the Gamorrean guard in an optimal place in order to make the Rancor take a good path. Otherwise, everything else is pretty standard. There's nothing else specific to mention. So I'm going to call in my second player here. And then I'm going to Force Confuse and let the Rancor pick up the Gamorrean guard. In this case, I don't know how my first Force Confuse didn't work, but that's okay. And then there's really just no other way to speed this up. You have to wait for the Rancor, you have to wait for the Gamorrean Guards, everything you have to wait for. And then going into the end, you can actually pull the lever with your player 1 and then drop out your player 2. This is one of the levels that has the most crucial thing that you should be paying attention to when it comes to which characters you end the level as. For the next level Bespin, we are going to be taking Droideka and then Emperor Palpatine. So if our Force character ends up being Emperor Palpatine, then we want to make him player 2 as we're ending Jabba's. And even in this case, as we do the character movement without having Emperor Palpatine, I'm still going to take Ghost Yoda either way. And then just call in Darth Vader as we're about to enter the level. And we have to menu both of the characters. But that's it for Jabba's, and it's the end of episode 6.